Sydney on NCIS Heartstarter from Season 2, Episode 1. Feels less like a season start and more like a lackluster finale. The episode mostly resolves the cliffhanger from Season 1 of NCIS, Sydney, although it doesn't do much to establish the events that will follow. Additionally, there isn't much assistance for viewers who are new to the show or those who don't recall the events of the Season 1 finale. Although it's a satisfying conclusion to the current plot, the beginning of a new season is disappointing. Heartstarter continues where Blonde Ambition, Season 1, Episode 8, left off. Richard Rankin is being held at gunpoint by NCIS Special Agent in charge Michelle Mackey, who is demanding to know his involvement in the kidnapping of her colleague J.D. Dempsey's son. The Australian federal police officer has his own thoughts about Dempsey's future. The scenario that follows is a typical good guy gone bad tale that could have been much more but accomplishes enough to please viewers. It's crucial to keep in mind that NCIS Sydney is an international spin-off that was created by an Australian creative team for the Australian TV network Network 10. It is not a conventional NCIS program. Although it draws the American trademark and concept from Law and Order, Criminal Intent Toronto, it is better seen as a standalone film. Just because NCIS Sydney is a completely distinct program that happens to exist in the NCIS world, one wonders if it would even be broadcasting on CBS if Hollywood hadn't experienced the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes of 2023. And that's when Heartstarter starts to go wrong. Compared to the previous NCIS series, the plot of NCIS Sydney is far more serialized. This episode's plot and characters aren't limited to the Season 1 finale. They're from the whole first season. The search for Anonymous, the mercenary who everyone has been chasing for some time, is the main focus of the Season 2 opener. Some of these events are explained by a previously on at the beginning, but a brief clip reel is insufficient to raise the emotional stakes, which is what the show mostly depends on. The whereabouts of Nemus is a mystery, but JD and his actions to apprehend her are the main emphasis of the narrative. It never delves deeply enough, though, for anyone who aren't already drawn to these individuals to be concerned. Although the closing scene indicates that the serialized method would continue for at least portion of Season 2, there is some closure at the end, as Mackey shoots Nemus and both Mackey and Dempsey regain their jobs. That will excite audiences that value that style of narrative. However, those who are more accustomed to NCIS and NCIS Origins Case of the Week format will feel as though they were thrust into the middle of the novel. Little preparation is made for anything other than the Nemus tale. There is only one significant character reveal, no more research, and no indication of any upcoming subplots. It would have been preferable to start the second season comparatively fresh and show this as Episode 9 of Season 1. Character development in NCIS Sydney Season 2 Episode 1 is rather little. The emotional storyline is on Dempsey and his willingness to go to great lengths to exact revenge on those responsible for the kidnapping and near-fatal death of his son Jack. It's a very popular TV crime drama storyline since it's a compelling story point for any hero. However, there is never a genuine fear that Dempsey may do something he can't undo. Even with actor Todd Lazant's anguished expressions, he informs Mackey approximately a minute later that the viewer is not permitted to dwell on what should have been the pivotal, oh no moment, when Dempsey phones Nemus and provides her with Rankin's location. Although the show completely glosses over any possible suspense, fans should still be startled and curious about Dempsey's commitment. A scene in Mackey's apartment, when Mackey tells Dempsey that she is also a parent. She has a teenage son named Trey. Does better for Lazance and co-star Olivia Swan. The type of content that strengthens TV relationships is Mackey's description of becoming a teenage mother and Dempsey's outburst in which she asks whether she would have informed him about Trey in a different situation. The two still don't seem as close as some of their predecessors, and Mackey's writing style generally gives the impression that the authors are attempting to emulate Jane Tennant from NCIS Hawaii. However, such interactions show viewers why these two characters work together and why Mackey, not just Dempsey, finds the narrative to be personal. Regarding the remaining members of the NCIS Sydney cast, their characters mostly serve to further the plot. Deshaun Jackson's appointment as acting special agent in charge and the fact that no one takes him seriously are the episode's attempts at humor, but the gags are short and unfunny. The team's conflict with Bert Carter at the workplace never really develops. Carter shows up to question everyone else about Nemus's escape from jail, but the most of it takes place off-screen, and Jackson is never given the opportunity to effectively oppose Carter's short-term rule. There should be a strong emotional beat that doesn't occur, much as with Dempsey. The major surprise is that the first episode of NCIS, Sydney Season 2, finishes on yet another cliffhanger. Even though viewers saw glimpses of Rankin's burial at the start and finish of the presentation, the last scene makes it clear that the entire event was manufactured. As Carter and Mackie watch Rankin in a still comatose state in an undisclosed medical facility, Mackie notes for the sake of the public that Rankin has crucial knowledge about the larger villains. It's a bold decision to round up an episode that focused so heavily on settling one cliffhanger with another, but it demonstrates how serialized the narrative is. This may go with the season in a few different ways. How long before anyone else finds out that Rankin is still alive? Do the authors keep that tension continuing, or do they simply ignore it until they're ready for him to awaken? When are they going to arrive? It's the type of bombshell that other TV crime dramas might utilize in a conclusion, but it would seem too late to save it for the Season 2 finale. However, it is the fundamental problem with the start of NCIS. Sydney Season 2, there are no character moments, comedies, or other things for the crew to worry about because it is so focused on its serialized plot. Even remembering the identities of all the characters takes some time. Given that they are primarily writing for a different TV audience, it is commendable that the authors are using a different approach. However, the show might benefit from focusing more on the factors that have contributed to NCIS's success.